Make them a little cooler.
Hello and welcome everyone to Daily Affirmation. My name is Randolph Stevenson, and joining me is my esteemed colleague, Antonio Matheson. Today we will be talking about spiritual self-discovery.
You've lost
Welcome
it.
to the Fantasy Football Commissioner. And today we are going to be doing our NFL draft preview. We do it every single year. This one's going to be a little more off scripted, I think. I'm not as prepared as I normally am. Joining me today is current defending reigning champion, Tony Mize. He's got his
Good to be
prize
back.
championship belt.
Good to be back.
Good to be back. All right. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Anything happened in fantasy since the last time we met?
Just my trade with Rich.
Oh, there was trade with Rich. Yeah.
And as far as the NFL, Stephon Diggs trade.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So Stephon Diggs is now a Texan for a year.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, we also have a sister league. It's called the ABL, the American Basketball League, and that recently completed.
Congratulations on the championship there, buddy.
I won my first fantasy championship. I actually went and had to go in and get the trophy engraved a few days ago, and I'm telling her what to write, and she's like, "In the name?" I go, "Eric Miller." And she looked at me, and she's like, "You finally won."
You finally won.
So the trophy is coming, and the fantasy basketball title. Oh, it's upside down. The fantasy basketball title. It's even got, of course, the basketball is only on its 5th year, but it's got all the previous winners.
Yep, just like this one.
So it looks just like, but I went with the white so it looked so that you could differentiate. So they look different. So I finally got a belt. It's mine for the next year.
Look at that. I'm glad I brought this today because now we look even
Yep.
cooler.
So
Even though the football one's more.
it's the same belt.
I know.
But this one only has 8 teams. This one's got 16. So
This
I guess in
one's,
theory that one is harder to win.
this one's very tough to win. All right.
So
This is going to be put away for now. It was just for show for a minute. Just because I had to.
yeah. So what we've done is offline. He and I each did our own kind of mock drafts, which we're gonna do, and we're just gonna, instead of doing like a positional breakdown, we're just gonna go pick by pick, and we're gonna kind of give our reasons why we think maybe that's how it's gonna go. We have done trades. How accurate they're going to be, of course, is, there's speculation. So we're going to do that, and then once we go through all the picks, let's only do one round of that.
Okay.
We'll do one round. We've actually done 3, but we're just going to do one round. What we'll do is, we'll do this. We'll do first round. We'll actually really break it down, how we're...
Okay.
And then we'll say what we thought for the second and third round. Just rattles off real quick. And then after that, we're going to do our own actual mock draft where he's going to have half the league and I'm going to have half the league. And we're going to actually pick and then actually see him going off that way and see how that kind of turns out. Just kind of fun to do. So I'm going to be controlling all the Eastern and Southern divisions. He's going to have the Northern and Western divisions. So yeah, anything you want to say before we get into it?
No, let's get this started.
All right, so what do I think? All right, so obviously the first overall pick is Chicago. So I'm pretty much guessing we have the same name on here.
It's a consensus number 1 pick. It's Caleb Williams.
It is. That being said, if I personally was Chicago, I wouldn't take him. If you really want to go quarterback, well, to begin with, I would have kept Fields and I would have drafted Harrison here. But they go. I mean, personally, I'm not a fan of Caleb Williams' attitude. I'm not saying it's his talent; it's his attitude.
I think he's very talented. I think he's going to make an excellent quarterback. The problem I see with him in Chicago, Chicago has set him up to succeed, but the coaching there is not the greatest to get that attitude knocked out of him. He knows he's good. He's cocky about it.
Well, part of it's his dad too.
Yeah.
You got like almost like a LeVar Ball situation going here.
But anyway, he's the consensus number one. Everybody that is anybody that knows anything about football is saying he's the number one pick. They might as well just pick him up now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think everyone would say, I don't think there's many people that... Now, I've heard a lot... I actually know some Bears fans, actually, they don't want him.
Yeah.
All right, so number 2 pick is Washington. So, who do you got? This is probably where we're going to start differing.
I have them taking Jaden Daniels.
Oh, so do I.
Back out of LSU.
So do
I think with Cliff Kingsbury being there, Jaden Daniels is going to play a little bit more like Kyler, which he had success with. I think Jaden Daniels has a bigger arm than Kyler.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's going to be... look, Jaden Daniels went from throwing to Malik Neighbors and Michael Thomas to throwing to Terry McLaurin and Johan Dotson. So it's going to be he's got receivers.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a good fit, I think.
No, I absolutely agree. And this is who I kind of thought, if the Bears really wanted to go quarterback with that first pick after they trade Fields, this is who I think who personally I would have wanted them to take. But I understand why they're taking Caleb Williams. All right, so now we go to 3, which is New England.
This is the one we're going to differ on.
Okay.
I have the Patriots going back to the Michigan well and drafting J.J. McCarthy.
I have them trading out.
Wow!
I actually have Minnesota trading with them and moving up to 3. And then New England gets the 2 Minnesota first round.
The 11 and 23?
Yep. And I have Drake May going to Minnesota.
Okay.
Personally, Drake May is probably the best pure pocket passer in this draft.
Yes. Drake May is the pure pocket passer of this draft class. The problem that I have with Drake May, from what I've seen, he doesn't process quickly, which he could learn to do better, but something about Drake May, it sends me a little... He's still a top pick.
That could be a scheme thing
Yep.
as well from where he was at.
Yeah,
so.
he was at North Carolina.
So number 4, I'm guessing this will be the same, is the Cardinals.
Marvin Harrison.
They need a receiver, obviously, very badly, because they lost their best receiver. And, I mean...
Hollywood Brown, he was their best receiver, but not...
healthy all the time.
Right. So look at Kyler when
so
he
you
had...
got Michael Wilson is your only guy, really.
So when Kyler had an aged Larry Fitzgerald, he was good. When Kyler Murray has had a true number 1 receiver, he's a top 5 quarterback in the league. He's going to get that back with Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison can beat anybody on any level of the field.
Personally, I think Marvin Harrison's the most talented player in this entire draft.
I completely agree with that.
And if it wasn't the age we're in, he might have been the first overall pick.
Yeah.
All right, so next up we have San Diego.
They belong in San Diego.
They do. The Chargers. I think we're going to be different on this one.
We are way different on this one.
You don't even know who I picked.
I know. I have the Chargers trading out of the 5th pick with Minnesota. Minnesota takes Drake May.
Oh. So ironically, we both end up with Drake May with the Chargers. Or with the Vikings.
Yep.
It's kind of funny.
So the Chargers would get 11-23 and the pick 108. That's 4th round pick.
Oh.
For the 5th pick.
Oh, I actually had... When I did it, it was those 2. There may have been one more pick. I can't remember. But I also had... New England also got Minnesota's first for next year.
But that's the 3 versus the 5. So they're going to ask for more. You see what I'm saying? Even though it's only 2 picks.
So with this pick, or with this spot, I actually kind of changed my view. I went a couple different ways with this. I did a bunch of these, to be honest with you.
I did a ton of them. I did like
And
6 or 7.
every single time I did this, I kept picking John Alt. Every time. And because they need to keep Herbert upright. I'm not saying they have a bad offensive line, but it could be better.
And with the coaching staff change, I completely agree with that because Harbaugh wants to
Run the ball.
And I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
So, giving all that, I did change my mind on this. And I gave him tight end Brock Bowers.
I still don't like that.
And
Yes.
There is so much he can do.
Yeah.
I mean, he is so fast. I mean, they can put him like at halfback if they want.
Yeah, they can. Brock Bowers can be anywhere on the field.
I mean, he can literally take a 5-yard out and like turn into a 50-yard gain.
Yes.
So I think he's going to be your next top tight end. So I put him with the Chargers.
Okay.
So next we go to New York, and this one might be the same.
I have Malik Neighbors.
I as well have Malik Neighbors. Look, at the end of the day, they need a receiver. They have no receiver.
No, they have a bunch of slot receivers. That's all they got.
I mean,
and no good slot receivers.
hold on. Slayton could be really good if he could really hold on to the thing.
He can't stay healthy.
Well, he also can't. Sometimes he drops a lot of balls too.
Yes, he does.
So we both have Malik Neighbors going there, and I did go back and forth with this spot also with Rome. I can't say his last name.
I don't see Roman
Adunzi.
Adunze. I don't see him going before Neighbors.
Okay.
Because a lot of people are saying Neighbors is you got Marvin Harrison 1A and Malik and Neighbors 1B for this draft class.
I'll tell you this though, Rome doesn't drop balls.
No,
He will catch.
These top 3 receivers in this class, if this was in last year's draft class, Roman Dunze would be the number 1 wide receiver. If it was in last year's draft class. Or any other draft class, I should say.
All right, so number 7, I'm guessing we probably are the same. Titans.
Joe Alt.
Yep, that's what I went with. I said John just a minute ago. Joe Alt. John was his dad.
Yeah.
Joe Alt probably is by far the best tackle in this draft.
Yep. Titans need offensive line help. I mean, Will Levis struggles against any kind of pressure. He doesn't see it coming, so he needs.
Well, not only that, now there's no running. I mean, Pollard, I guess, is not the same threat that Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
was.
they got Pollard and Spears, but like you said,
it's not the same.
It's not Derrick Henry.
You're not worried about Pollard like blowing through you.
No.
All right, so next up we have Atlanta. So now I'm guessing it's really this is where we're going to be all over the place.
This is when the draft starts.
All right, so Atlanta.
Dallas Turner, edge from Alabama.
Ironically, for a bunch of them I had done, that's where I went was Dallas Turner. However, you got the quarterback there. Hopefully your tight end will finally start producing, and hopefully Drake London will start really producing. So I'm like, you know what? Let's put someone on the other side. So I gave him Rome.
Okay.
Really trick that offense out, and because their defense isn't horrible. I mean, obviously, a player like Dallas Turner could make a difference, but there's a lot of edge rushers in this draft as well. So in this draft, quarterback is pretty deep, receiver is really really deep, tackle is really really deep, and edge rusher is really really deep. So I went with Rome at that spot.
Not a bad selection.
All right, so now we go to Chicago at 9.
I have them taking Jared Verse, edge from Florida State.
Oh. I had them taking Dallas Turner, the edge rusher from Alabama. And another thing I've heard talk that they'll go receiver here as well. And obviously they have DJ Moore, who's young still, and they acquired Keenan Allen. However, Allen is old.
Yeah, Allen's going to be going into his age 32 year.
And he already talked about possibly retiring anyways.
Yeah.
So, having a receiver learn from him wouldn't be a bad idea either.
Right.
But their defense has some great players on it. So you wouldn't mind seeing them load the defense up again. All right, number 10, We have
The New York Jets.
New York Jets. So you do yours.
I have them taking Brock Bowers, tight end.
And originally, that's where I had him going as well. When I was having Alt go to
And look,
the Chargers.
The reason I went that route is Aaron Rodgers is known to utilize his tight end. Yeah, he's got Garrett Wilson on the outside, but Aaron Rodgers can support. I mean, I
Right.
don't care if Aaron Rodgers is 45 years old. The guy is still good. No
If-
matter if you don't like him or not, he's still a good quarterback.
If Bowers makes it to 10, absolutely he is a Jet because there's no way he goes below that.
Yeah.
I actually have this. Remember, my third overall pick was traded.
Yes.
That was New England. I had New England trade. So they had the 11th pick. So at 10 is the Jets. So the Jets don't need a quarterback, but New England does. So the Broncos made a trade with the Jets to move up to number 10. And the Jets moved down to 12. So the Broncos took quarterback J.J. McCarthy. That's how I did it.
All right.
And I mean, from a draft standpoint, if you need a quarterback and the team that's drafting directly in front of you
You're
needs
gonna
one,
move
you're going to
yourself
try to
up.
jump in front of it.
Yep.
So, I have McCarthy to the Broncos. So next up is 11, which is Minnesota,
It's actually the Chargers for me.
and it's actually the Patriots for me. But this is Minnesota spot. So go ahead with who you took for the Chargers.
The Chargers drafted Roman Dunze.
How he fell that far? I don't think he falls that far.
I think he falls that far.
Okay. Well, I had him taken. Originally, they were going to go for the quarterback. Well, being his 4 quarterbacks already gone, it's too early to take Penix or Nix at 11.
Is it?
It is, I think.
Is it? When did Daniel Jones go? When did Johnny Manziel go?
And I love Michael Penix. Don't get me wrong. I just think it's too early to take him at 11. So I had him taking another position they do need is offensive tackle. I had him take the offensive tackle from Penn State, a name I unfortunately not even going to attempt to say.
Penn State.
It's fast.
Olay Fashanu.
Yep, that's the guy I gave him. So another thing, just so you guys understand, the simulator we're using. So I found 3 different simulators. There was an ESPN one, NFL one, and then this one is PFF, I think.
PFN.
PFN. And I've Guy, rest in peace.
Yeah, this is the one that
Guy gave us
Yep.
this one, or discovered this one. So all 3 of them, what I discovered, all have different. The rankings are all different.
Yep.
So like in PFN, this is the second rated tight end or tackle. In like I think NFL, he was farther down. So, but he was still in that top 5 of tackles. So, I have that, and then the Patriots in my mind. Patriots are going to try to get quarterback later in this draft. So
we're moving on to 12.
12, which is the Broncos. However, mine was a trade, so yours probably still is the Broncos.
Mine
right?
is still the Broncos, and I don't think it's too early for a quarterback. I think Sean Payton goes to a guy that I see very similar to Drew Brees because he's a pocket passer.
Going Joe Milton.
Nope. Bo Nix to the Denver Broncos.
I actually do like Bo Nix, to be honest with you.
I think he just fits what Peyton wants to do.
So I went with the Jets, who of course traded with Denver in this spot. I gave them wide receiver Brian Thomas
Oh,
out of LSU, because obviously they have Garrett Wilson, and they acquired Mike Williams. However, Mike Williams can pretty much outstretch about anyone in the game. However, the health is a concern.
he's coming back from an ACL tear.
They're saying he should be ready by week 1, but there's still that injury history.
He's always hurt. Always. I'm a Chargers fan. I know that. He's never on the field.
So this way you get the guy that, gives you a third receiver. And obviously they're going to throw the ball a lot. So I went Brian Thomas.
Okay.
So now we got 13, and we got the Raiders.
All right. With the Raiders, they need a quarterback. I did not go quarterback here. With most of the quarterback needing teams already picking, I have the Raiders taking Olay Fashanu from Penn State.
And the Raiders have kind of said that kind of okay right now with
Gardner Minshew.
Gardner, and also I think they like O'Connell.
Yes.
So I actually had him taking the corner out of Alabama, Teron Arnold.
Oh. Okay.
Improve the defense.
That's
On this
actually
thing. He
good
was
for
the
them.
top corner in this draft.
Yes.
Corner is another position actually that is
It's pretty deep.
it's pretty solid in the first couple of rounds. It should be pretty solid.
Yep.
All right, so next we got pick 14, which is the Saints.
The Saints I have going defensive tackle. First defensive tackle off the board. The one I like the best was Brian Murphy II from Texas.
I will agree that's who I like the best as well. But that's not who I gave him. I gave him offensive tackle from Oregon State, Talise Fungua.
Oh, yep.
Did I say it right?
Yeah.
It's a position that they need. And I'll be honest, I actually thought about quarterback for them as well.
You know, with the Saints, I really thought about because they need offensive linemen. You look at my team needs that I have here. It's tackle and interior offensive linemen, but I felt they needed to build that defense up. Take the first defensive tackle off the board. Take the best guy.
I mean, you got to keep Carr upright though.
Yeah.
So now we go to the Colts at 15.
So the Colts, I have taken Quinyon Mitchell, corner from Toledo. I like him better than Terrion Arnold for the Colts anyway. If he was in any other system, I don't think so, because Quinyon Mitchell's better in man. Colts run a lot of man coverage.
Right.
So.
Well, I gave him an edge rusher.
Okay.
I went out of UCLA. I went Latua.
Oh, Latu?
Yeah, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
For those of you who are new, if you've never watched this, that's why we need Guy, who will be sitting right
well,
here.
his first name's Liatu. Yeah.
So I went with him because that is another position they need is to improve the deep. So I guess we both were improving their defense just in different ways.
Yep.
I mean, sometimes if you can get a good pass rush on a quarterback, it's actually better than having a good corner.
Yeah.
Because you're actually giving bad corners actually more time.
Yep.
So now we go to 16 with the Seahawks.
So this is a trade for me.
Okay.
The Buffalo Bills move up with the Seattle. Seattle gets the 28th, 128, and Buffalo's 2025 third round pick. Buffalo gets the 16th pick, and they take Brian Thomas to replace Stephon Diggs.
The simulator let you do that. I mean, that's kind of like actually I mean, they did it without even giving up a second rounder?
Yep.
Oh. Well, I went with the corner out of Toledo.
Okay.
Quinton Mitchell.
Quinyon Mitchell.
Yeah. Trying to build that Legion of Boom back up.
Yep.
So next we go to 17 and the Jaguars.
All right. I have them going cornerback, Terrion Arnold.
Oh. I had them going defensive tackle, Brian Murphy.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we pretty much have the same players going off the board.
And I think Murphy is the best defensive tackle in this draft.
I do too.
Well, we'll get to the other Texas defensive tackle, I'm sure, later.
Yeah.
Number 18, we have Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, I have taking Talise Fiaga.
Oh, the tackle.
Yeah, the offensive tackle from Oregon State.
He was already gone in mine.
Yeah. I have him taking that because, look, Joe Burrow, he hasn't been healthy.
Right.
He keeps getting hit. We need it. We need our Joe Burrow for fantasy football. Well,
And I also went tackle, but I went with the Alabama J.C. Latham.
J.C. Latham.
Yep. I will say, like,
You know,
I've always been partial to the bigger schools. I sometimes look at, the bigger schools. I'm not saying there's not good gems, obviously, in smaller schools, but also understand the smaller school guys are playing smaller school guys. Whereas,
Right.
The Alabamas are playing the LSUs. They're playing the Floridas and the Georgias every year.
So, after looking at the offensive tackles, I honestly really like J.C. Latham.
Yeah.
He is a big dude. He is, I got it here, 6'5", 342 for an offensive tackle.
In some of the earlier ones I actually had him going earlier than that. But in this one I had him falling to 18. So next up we have the Rams at 19.
I haven't taken Latu,
Yep.
edge rusher from UCLA.
Well, we went with the same position because I have them taking Jared Verse,
Oh,
defensive.
Jared Verse dropped that far? Wow.
I have edge rusher to Florida State.
All right.
Well, some of the tackles came up.
Yep.
And the Brian Thomas move, I think, really affected stuff too. So now we have number 20, which is Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, I have taken center from Duke, Graham Barton.
I have them going with offensive tackle out of Washington, Troy.
Fontenot?
Yes, that name right there. Their offensive line is probably their weakest part. And, I mean, you have these two good running backs.
Yeah, I mean, we went the same direction. You just went tackle, I went center.
Yep.
I think their interior offensive lineman's weaker than their...
Well, they need both.
Right, they need both, but I'd rather jump on the best center and get that part taken care of because he can shift out to guard too,
Yep.
if needed. So
So when I put him on, every mock draft I did, I actually drafted him as a guard, not really as a center.
he was listed as a center.
Right, but
And this...
I've heard he's better as a guard.
Yep. So, because he was listed as a center... I
And
put
some
him
of
as
these
a center.
tackles could become guards too. So.
Yep.
All right, so now we have...
Your Miami Dolphins at
Yep.
21.
And I'll go first on this one.
All right.
I actually have them, which of course they couldn't afford to keep Christian Wilkins. That one broke my heart. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I knew.
He was actually my favorite player on the team, but... So I have him trying to replace him, and obviously Brian Murphy was already gone. So I had defensive tackle from Illinois, Johnny Newton, going here.
Oh, he's a good pick. Good pick. I have them taking offensive tackle J.C. Latham.
Huh?
Probably my favorite tackle in this class. I have your Dolphins taking him.
Look, any offensive line help would help too. I thought about offensive linemen too, but there were so many of the really, really good ones that were already gone. So, all right. So now we got 22. We got Philadelphia.
I have them taking defensive back. This guy can go corner, safety, anywhere in the secondary. Cooper DeJean from Iowa.
Also, with the new rules for kick returning, he'll be their kick returner. I heard he's like really.
Is he?
Yes,
Oh.
I heard he's really. Any team that gets him will probably put him back there to receive kicks.
Yeah, I'm gonna love this kickoff thing. Really am.
I actually am going with the same position, however, different guy. Going corner Nate Wiggins out of Clemson.
Okay.
I mean, Philadelphia, I still don't understand what happened in Philadelphia last year.
They
They were tearing the league apart, and then all of a sudden at the very end, they just like died. I don't know what.
Yeah, they just fell apart.
It was weird.
They're hurting in their secondary. They gave up the most yards in the second half of the season for their secondary, and with no injuries.
So now we have pick 23, which is Minnesota,
I have the Chargers.
and I have the Patriots here.
So with the Chargers, will take Troy Fontenot, offensive tackle from Washington.
And I am going also with Washington. However, it's the quarterback, Michael Penix.
Yeah, because it's the Patriots.
Yep, they need a quarterback,
Right.
and I do prefer Penix over Nix. To be honest with you, I thought Penix should have been the Heisman Trophy winner.
So, I completely agree with that. I like Penix better than Nix, but looking at the coaching for Denver, I think Bo Nix is a better fit in Sean Payton's offense than Michael Penix would be. That's why I went Bo Nix at number 12 versus Michael Penix. But I do like Penix better.
All right. Number 24, we got Dallas.
I have them taking offensive tackle Mims from Georgia. Another big 6'7", 340-pound offensive tackle.
We've actually got the same player.
Wow.
Yep. Ding,
Just-
ding, ding, ding.
Just looking at his name, it looked like a Jerry Jones kind of
We almost need of course they just lost their tackle to
Right.
the Jets.
Yep.
I've heard Mims. Some people say Mims is kind of a project. Because I heard some people say like Mims would have been a good player to go to either Pittsburgh or the Jets, but he'd have to sit probably for a year or two.
Okay.
So that's why I kind of had him fall farther down. Number 25, we have Green Bay.
Green Bay, I have taking cornerback out of Clemson, Nate Wiggins.
Well, I went corner, but I didn't. I went with the fluids. I went Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid? Well, you had Nate Wiggins going
Yep,
before.
I already had
so-
Wiggins gone to Philly. So,
So-
cool. So we both picked corner here. In my opinion, if they don't go defense, they have to go all offensive line. If one of the tackles falls,
Yes. If one of the tackles fall,
they don't need to touch skill positions. They just
No.
need to either bolster the defense or take care of the offensive
Yep.
line. Okay, number 26, we have
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I have them taking edge rusher from Penn State, Chop Robinson. Is that 2 in a row?
well, it's not two in a
No,
row, but
no, it's not. It's
we got another one identical.
nice.
I mean, I don't know, like I don't want to say they have a lot of holes, but they lost Devin White. That should be a huge loss
Yep.
for them.
They need to retool that. They did re-sign Levante David, but Levante David is old.
Yeah, I also debated here a receiver, for the same reason with the Keenan Allen thought process.
You know,
with Mike Evans, but
I thought about receiver with a lot of these teams, but the reason I chose a different position is because this receiver class is so deep.
yeah,
I think they'll be able to get after the top 4, because I earlier I said the top 3. I really think it's a top 4 because Brian Thomas is just as good.
right. All right, so now we have Arizona.
So for Arizona, I have them taking Jackson Power Johnson, offensive tackle or offensive center. Sorry.
And I had him taking Graham Barton.
All right, same
So
position.
the same position. Yeah, they need. I mean, besides receiver, that offensive line needs to get bolstered big time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You can't have Murray running for his life.
Right, and with Murray getting Marvin Harrison, he wants time back there to get him the ball. All right.
Honestly, don't be shocked. It might seem weird, but I honestly would not be shocked if at 4 they pick a quarterback.
I don't think they're going that way.
I don't. I mean, I'm just saying.
I don't.
If they did, I'd be like, I'd understand why.
I don't. Seattle.
Well, you got Seattle.
Oh, I
This is
got
actually
Seattle.
Buffalo.
Yep. So, with Seattle, I originally had them taking an offensive tackle or defensive tackle, but then I decided to trade up after the Stephon Diggs trade. So Seattle still gets, in my opinion, the second pass defensive tackle on the draft board is Johnny Newton.
Okay. Well, I went since it's Buffalo. Obviously, Buffalo needs so much. I mean, they're talking about going from the penthouse to. They're not going to the cellar.
They cut everyone.
Well, they
in
had
trade.
to. They didn't,
Yeah.
if from a cap standpoint.
Yep.
But receiver is the thing they probably need the most. So I went with the Texas receiver Mitchell.
Oh, Adonai Mitchell.
Yep. So next up we have Detroit.
Detroit, it needs a corner. I have them taking Kool-Aid McKinstry.
And I went with safety Cooper,
Dijon?
but he can actually become a corner as well.
Yes, he can play all over.
And again, kick returner.
Yep.
I mean, the only other thing I thought about for Detroit would have been interior offensive line. But defense, I mean, especially with what happened with Sutton, they need the corners bad.
Yes. Yeah, that's why I
So
said-
unfortunate.
Yep.
So next up we have Baltimore at 30.
So Baltimore, I'm giving your buddy Zay Jones some help. They're taking A.D. Mitchell.
I went the other Texas receiver.
Xavier Worthy.
I went Xavier Worthy. Let's face it, that Zay Flowers needs someone else on their side.
Yep. So Zay Flowers is very good catching those short, intermediate routes and taking them to the house. He's very good after the catch. A.D. Mitchell is good down the field. And then you got Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely just running around doing what those two tight ends do, because they're both very good.
All right, so now we have San Francisco at 31, so now we're to the Super Bowl teams.
Yep. I have them taking offensive tackle from Oklahoma, Tyler Guyton.
I had him trading.
Wow.
I had Carolina moving up.
Ooh.
So Carolina at 31 takes wide receiver Keon Coleman out of Florida State.
Okay.
Let's say, Bryce Young needs, I get why they made the trade, but I think that trade they made, they're going to really regret it in the end.
Yeah.
Even if Bryce Young turns out to be great, because what they have sacrificed, you've sacrificed almost a couple years.
Yes.
Just to get Bryce Young for now.
Yes, when you could have had Caleb Williams. I think Caleb Williams is a better prospect.
Well, you can't say that. We don't know that he still would have had the first overall pick, I guess.
Right.
But they would have been, obviously, they probably would have still been top 5.
Yeah.
All right, so now we got 32, the Super Bowl champion, the Tony Mize of the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Don't ever compare me to the Chiefs. And it pains me to have them take this receiver because I don't want them to have another receiver like this. Xavier Worthy.
Yeah. Well, I went offensive tackle for him.
Well, who knows what's going on with Rashid Rice and all his...
I know, but after watching that Super Bowl and watch how... Because I tell you this right now, the NFL is a copycat league, and I guarantee you every defensive coordinator is going to try to do what the Niners did to Patrick Mahomes in that game.
Yes.
They shut him down for a long time.
Yes, they did.
They played him perfect. He couldn't really... he still made some plays, don't get me wrong. I know he did. What I'm saying is they had him, he was getting hit, he was contained.
The same thing that happened when Tampa won the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. They contained Patrick Mahomes for the entire game, won the Super Bowl.
So I went tackle Tyron Guyton from Oklahoma.
Okay.
So that completes the first round. So now we're just going to start, we'll just kind of rattle them off here, I guess. Well, we'll just rattle them off. If you want to talk about it, you can go ahead.
Okay.
So you read off your second round.
Okay. Carolina, I have taking Lad McConkey. They need receiver help. Patriots are taking Keon Coleman. Arizona Cardinals, Jordan Morgan. The Washington Commanders' first pick in this draft is the offensive tackle from Houston, Patrick Paul. The Chargers at 37 is going to take Rook Aroraro. I just love saying that name. Tennessee Titans take Enos Rakeshaw, corner. Panthers take Christian Haynes, a guard. Commanders take Darius Robinson, edge rusher. Packers are going to take Edrin Cooper, linebacker. Houston Texans take Max Milton, cornerback. Atlanta Falcons also take a cornerback, TJ Tampa. The Las Vegas Raiders, Michael Penix finally comes off the board here at 44. The Saints take an offensive tackle, Kingsley Sumwata. The Colts take Isaac Edrusher from Penn State. The Giants take the first running back off the board at Jordan Brooks. The Jacksonville Jaguars take Brennan Fisk. The Bengals go back to the Michigan defensive lineman with not Michigan, Ohio State, with Mike All Jr. Eagles take linebacker Peyton Willis. Steelers take wide receiver Troy Franklin. Rams take cornerback Kamari Lester. Eagles take guard Cooper Beebe. Cleveland Browns take Michigan's defensive tackle Chris Jenkins. The Dolphins take safety Tyler Nubin. The Dallas Cowboys take running back Trey Benson. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers take Chris Braswell, edge rusher. Packers take interior offensive lineman Zach Frazier. Houston Texans take defensive tackle Leonard Taylor. Buffalo Bills take safety Cameron Kitchens. The Detroit Lions take Xavier Legette, wide receiver. The Ravens take offensive tackle Blake Fisher. The 49ers take edge rusher Braylon Treese. And the Kansas City Chiefs take linebacker Junior Colston.
I want you to guess how many we got the same.
3.
1.
Really?
Yep.
Which one?
Well, you'll hear it. So, with my second round, I had, of course, the first overall pick was a trade. San Francisco has the 33 pick. So, I went offensive tackle Jordan Morgan from Arizona. At 34, the Patriots took wide receiver Ladd McConkey.
I love Ladd McConkey.
I've heard, like, he's... How they compare him. Like, they actually, a lot of people I've heard have him going to Kansas City as well. Because he'll catch, like, everything as well.
The comparison I've heard the most and why I love him so much is a Keenan Allen clone.
Oh.
The separation this guy gets right from the line
I heard,
is
like,
why he's so good.
I heard Edelman, Wes Welker. Number 35, Arizona, edge rusher Darius Robinson from Missouri. Washington takes offensive tackle Kingsley Sumata. Yeah, that too. 37, I have your LA Chargers taking offensive center from Oregon, Jackson Powers Johnson.
Ooh, I like that.
38, Titans get TJ Tampa, corner. The Panthers at 39 take edge rusher from Penn State, Isaac. Adusa Isaac.
Yeah.
Washington at 40, safety from Minnesota, Tyler Nubin. Green Bay takes offensive guard from UConn, Christian Haynes. The Texans take offensive guard from Kansas State, Cooper Beebe. The Falcons take cornerback Max Melton. The Raiders finally get their quarterback, and they take quarterback Bo Nix out of Oregon. New Orleans Saints get defensive tackle out of Clemson, Rook.
Aurora.
That too.
I love Saints.
The Colts are going to take wide receiver out of Oregon, Troy Franklin. New York is going to take a running back out of Florida State, Trey Benson.
At least some of the positions were...
Some of the positions, yep. Jacksonville is going to take cornerback out of Missouri, Enos Rakestraw.
Rakestraw. Just how it looks.
That too. The Cincinnati Bengals are going to take wide receiver out of South Carolina, Xavier Legette. The Eagles take linebacker out of Texas A&M, Edrin Cooper. Offensive center from West Virginia, Zach Frazier, goes to Pittsburgh. Edge rusher from Alabama, Chris Braswell, goes to the Rams. Safety from Miami, Cameron Kitchens, goes to Philadelphia. Cleveland is going to keep this guy in Ohio, and they're going to take defensive tackle from the Ohio State University, Michael Hall Jr. Miami is going to take offensive tackle Patrick Paul. The Dallas Cowboys are going to take running back from Texas, Jonathan Brooks. Tampa cornerback from Georgia, Kamari Lassiter. Green Bay, I have linebacker from North Carolina State, Peyton Wilson. Defensive tackle from Miami, Leonard Taylor, to Houston.
Wow, that's the only one we...
Yep. Buffalo's going to go edge rusher from Washington, Braylon Trice. Lions are going to keep this guy in state. They're going to take defensive tackle out of Michigan, Chris Jenkins. Baltimore is going to go defensive tackle from Florida State, Brandon Fisk. The Niners are going to go linebacker Cedric Gray from North Carolina. And the last pick of the second round, Washington will take wide receiver Jalen Polk.
Okay, I want to bring up some third round for fantasy purposes only.
Okay.
Just the tight ends, receivers that I have going. Just because everybody that's watching, like, you guys didn't take Blake Corum, or where is these guys
Right.
going? So I just want to hit on that. So I have Ben Sinnott, tight end from Kansas, going to the Panthers.
There's
I
one.
There's one. The Arizona Cardinals take Blake Corum. The Chargers take Jalen Wright. That's a running back. Falcons take Jalen Polk, wide receiver from Wisconsin. The Denver Broncos take Ricky Pearsall from Florida. The Bengals take Roman Wilson, wide receiver from Michigan. The Indianapolis Colts take Javonte Sanders, tight end from Texas. Cowboys take Malachi Corley from Western Kentucky. Tampa takes Devontae Walker from North Carolina. And the Rams take quarterback Spencer Rattler. And the Washington Commanders take Jalen McMillan from Washington.
I don't want to tear it apart. The only thing I would say on the Spencer Rattler, I think that's too high.
I think the Rams are desperate, knowing that Matthew Stafford. They're gonna.
I know, but what I'm saying is, I
really
they
think
could
they're
wait.
gonna reach-
They could wait another
they-
round and get him in the fourth.
They reached with Georgia quarterback from last year.
They didn't take him that early though.
Yeah, they did. They took him in like the fourth round.
Well, that's what I said. I had him going to the fourth. I
It's
would
end of the fourth round or end of the third.
right, but
They
they don't
have-
pick again till the end of the fourth.
Oh, right.
All right, so since we're just doing more offensive base guys, so like I said, I had the tight end from Kansas State, Ben Chenault, going to Carolina. I had Arizona taking wide receiver Roman Wilson. I had the Patriots at 68 taking wide receiver Machu Corley from Western
Oh,
Kentucky.
Malachi Corley.
Chargers get wide receiver out of Florida, Ricky Pearsall. Yep.
Ooh, I like that one. He's good. I like.
The Jets get tight end out of Texas, Sanders.
Okay.
Yep. However you say it. The Broncos are going to take wide receiver from Washington, Jalen McMillan. The Raiders are going to take running back Blake Corum from Michigan. Let's see. Then we got Pittsburgh, wide receiver out of North Carolina, Dev Orntez Walker. Texans are going to take running back Will Shipley from Clemson. Tampa is going to take wide receiver out of Florida State, Johnny Wilson. Running back out of Wisconsin, Braylon Allen goes to Arizona. Oh my God, I heard I just ripped him apart. I just ripped you apart. I had the guy going higher. Holy crap.
What?
And Tampa taking Spencer Rattler. I forgot about this.
All right.
Kind of the same mindset, just with, I mean, obviously Baker Mayfield's not that old, but
Right.
was last year kind of like a fluke. I'm not saying I guess he's been a good quarterback, but he's had some struggles too. Jacksonville goes with wide receiver from Alabama, Jermaine Burton. And so one name that I don't have going that I am high on actually is the running back from Notre Dame.
SMA.
And I think originally I did this, I had him going in the third round at one point, but when I did this one, I did not. So
So I forgot.
he would have been in my top, the very, very top of the fourth round. I also like the quarterback out of Tennessee, Joe Milton.
Yeah, Joe Milton, I think, is going to be a guy that, for a team like, I know the Lions drafted what's his face from Tennessee last year. But similar where they have like the Lions, for example, that have Jared Goff. They need someone just in case Jared Goff eventually doesn't come back. They need someone there.
Right.
One player I missed on my third round is Will Shipley. I have going to the Raiders. But Marshawn Lloyd is like the running back that I don't have going in the first 3 rounds that I really like. He's a smaller, stockier guy like Blake Corum. So
Another player that I'm high on, and it's probably just because of where he's from, but I love Kate Stover, tight end, and I would have had him.
Oh, I missed that
I was
too.
close to having him in my third round
I
too.
do have him in my third round. I missed him going to the Bengals.
He is such a great athlete, and he's got great talent, and I think he'll do really well in the league. But all right, so that's our prediction based off how we think these teams are going to pick. So now we're going to pick for them how we would pick. This isn't based off how we think they're going to pick. This is how we would pick. So we got to get this loaded real quick. So give us a second. And then, how many rounds you want to do?
What are you thinking? 2? 3? I don't care.
Set it for 3, but if we decide to stop, we can.
Okay. And like he said, he's picking for half the league. I'm picking for half the league.
So he's got all any of the northern divisions or western divisions are his. I have the east and the south. I'm gonna grab a quick drink before you draft.
Oh yeah. Well, my first draft is this isn't time, so
You want?
no, I'm good. I'm just gonna throw out my pick, number 1 pick to the.
This is how you're drafting, not how they're gonna draft.
I'm still taking Caleb Williams
Okay.
with that first pick. No, if they like you said earlier, if they wouldn't have traded Justin Fields, I would have gone a completely different direction.
So also with this, do we want to do trades? I guess I should ask that, or should we just go like they're just drafting and not mess with trades? Because
Let's just go straight down.
okay,
We did our trade thing with our individuals.
so now we have Washington.
Yep, that's you.
So that's me. So I'm gonna go with who I originally had drafted for him, anyways. I'm gonna go with Jaden Daniels, quarterback out of LSU.
Okay.
So next up, I'm up next.
With the Patriots.
Yep. So here, I am going to go wide receiver Marvin Harrison.
Okay.
Next, we have the Cardinals, which is the West, so that's you.
I'm going to take the next best receiver. Malik Neighbors goes to the Cardinals.
Okay.
And the Chargers are up next, so they're going to take Roman Dunze because they need a wide receiver desperately. The Giants are you.
Giants are me. So wide receivers, this is way too early to take Brian Thomas. You know what? It is kind of a position of need because Darren Waller retired, correct?
Yes.
Did he retire?
Yes.
All right, I'm taking tight end Brock Bowers here.
I would have took a tackle there. That's not my team. So, Tennessee Titans, I'm taking Joe Alt.
Wait,
Nope.
that's me.
Yep, that's you.
That's fine because that's who I would have given him anyways.
Okay. My brain shut off.
All right, so next we have Falcons. That's me as well.
Yep.
I'm gonna go Dallas Turner.
Dallas Turner.
So now we're to you, Chicago.
Okay.
So they've already taken a quarterback.
Yep.
So is this gonna be Drake May?
Yeah. Yeah. They're gonna double up on this. I'm going to have them take.
Before you make this, you realize at this point, someone would probably be making a trade with Chicago right now to get May.
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt about it. May has dropped. But this is very feasible. I mean, this could happen if there's no trades in that first
Right.
round. I am actually going to take an offensive tackle here to keep Caleb Williams safe. I'm going to take Fashanu from Penn State.
So now we're to the Jets and me.
Wow, Drake May and J.J. McCarthy are still on the damn board.
I am really thinking in this one. I know he's going to be pissed, but it makes sense. Drake May. I mean, I know he's going to be pissed, but it's like, look, first of all, he didn't play. He played 4 snaps, and
Yep.
he's pretty much
42.
40 years old, so...
42.
Huh?
40. He'll be 42.
Yeah, they need to have the next guy ready. So
Minnesota's me. It's J.J. McCarthy.
well, that really fell in their lap. Losers here definitely are Denver,
Yeah.
which is also you.
So with Denver's pick,
Before you do the Denver, also I want to say the reason I went with Drake May for the Jets was, look, tight end is a huge need of theirs. Receiver is a huge need of theirs. I thought it was too early to get Thomas. Bowers was gone, so it's too early to get any of the other tight ends. Could they use depth at tackle? Yes. However, you don't need to. You're not going to draft a backup for a tackle position that high.
no.
Having a quarterback fall like Drake May to number 10,
Yep.
so you can secure your
Even
hopefully secure your future.
Yep. I completely agree.
All right, so now I got Denver.
All right, so Denver. I'm going to have them taking edge rusher Latu.
Your beloved Raiders.
No, my beloved freaking Raider. So they're going to take offensive tackle J.C. Latham.
So now it's me. South Arizona, New Orleans.
It's the Saints.
Let's go with the tackle out of Oregon State, Fu Agoa. So I'm up next with the Colts. So now this actually is a good spot for him. So I'm going to take Brian Thomas here. Receiver.
Okay. Whoops.
So now it's you, Seattle.
So with Seattle, I'm going to give them Tyrion Arnold, cornerback from Alabama.
Jacksonville is me, so I'm going to go Mitchell, the corner out of Toledo. Cincinnati is you.
Where is Mitchell? Defense corner. There he is. So Cincinnati is me. Oh, it just kicked me out. What did it?
All right, here I go. I can read them back off to you.
Okay, hold on. Oh.
Daniels, Harrison, Neighbors, Odunzi, Brock Bowers,
There he is.
Joe Alt,
Brock Bowers.
Dallas Turner,
Alt.
Fez Zanuia, or whatever, the tackle out of Penn State,
Okay.
Drake May, McCarthy, Latu, Lathium, Fuaga,
Lathium.
JC,
Oh, J.C. Latham. Okay. What's the next one?
Fuaga, the tackle out of Oregon State, Brian Thomas, receiver,
Okay.
cornerback Arnold, cornerback Mitchell.
All right.
So now we're Cincinnati.
All right. So Cincinnati, I'm going to take defensive tackle Byron Murphy.
So you're up again, Rams.
The Rams, I'm going to take edge rusher Jared Verse.
You again, Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, I am going to stick with my guns here and go with offensive Graham Barton.
The Dolphins. I'm actually changing my mind from what I originally picked. I'm going to take cornerback Nate Wiggins, Clemson.
Okay. Philadelphia.
That's me as well.
Next.
I am going to go Cooper DeJean.
That's a good pick. For the Eagles.
You're Minnesota.
So Minnesota.
We've already taken a quarterback.
Yep. I think I'm going to go with defensive tackle Johnny Newton.
All right. Dallas. I am going to go Jackson Powers Johnson.
Okay.
You're Green Bay.
Green Bay. They're going to take Troy Fontenot, offensive tackle.
Tampa. So I'm going to go Chop Chop, Mr. Robinson. Arizona. That's you.
Well, since he dropped, I'm going to take Mims, offensive tackle from Georgia.
Buffalo. I'm going to take wide receiver Mitchell.
Okay. That's a good pick.
You're Detroit.
Kool-Aid McKinstry.
You're Baltimore.
Baltimore, I am going to take a wide receiver here. I think I'm going to take Xavier Worthy.
All right. You're San Francisco.
San Francisco is going to be offensive tackle Tyler Guyton.
You're Kansas City. To end the first.
Kansas City. I'm going to have him take Lad McConkey. They need a receiver.
All right. So now we're to second round. That's me. I'm going to go Keon Coleman, the receiver from Florida State.
Okay. Patriots, it's you.
All right. See, there was brain surgery going on here. Quarterback Michael Penix. Now it's you, Arizona.
Arizona pick Xavier Worthy.
Then you already gone?
No, yeah, that's what I was seeing what
Oh, you're looking
Excited.
at okay.
What I picked for them because I couldn't remember. So they are going to take. I'm gonna have taken Michael Holt Jr. from Ohio State.
Holy crap.
I like him.
Let's see. So now we have Washington, which is me. There we got Daniels. So I'm gonna go Darius. Don't call me Rucker Robinson.
All right.
You got your San Diego Chargers.
All right. Chargers.
God, I wish I had this one.
Why?
Because I could give them Bo Nix. We're gonna pad the Oregon quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Well, I can't get Ryan Leaf.
Oh, that's rough. Why do you have to go there? They're gonna take an offensive tackle here. I don't know which one yet. Jordan Morgan.
So I'm Tennessee. We had to give them Alt earlier, so they don't need tackle. TJ Tampa. Oh, this is me again. Zach Frazier. The center.
Yep.
Oh, this is me again. Washington. I gotta look at this one.
Washington has a ton of bigs.
All right, so they got quarterback and they got edge rusher. All right, offensive tackle Sumatia from BYU.
Okay.
Now it's you with Green Bay.
Green Bay. Did I have taken a safety in the first round? I don't remember. Sorry, guys, for not being. Nope. So they're going to take.
Don't worry, there's not many people probably watching us at this point.
You're right.
We're just entertaining ourselves at this point.
I'm going to have them taking Tyler Nubin.
Safety out of Minnesota.
Yes.
All right, so I'm Houston. And I don't remember who it. Is this their first pick?
Yes.
All right, let's go offensive guard Christian Haynes. I'm Atlanta. There we go, edge rusher. We're going to go wide receiver Troy Franklin.
Oh. See, I think Atlanta has some pretty good receivers besides London. Because they have Mooney and the little guy from Arizona. They got him in a trade. But, all right, for the Raiders, I'm going to have them taking a running back here. I'm going to have them taking Trey Benson. Just for fun.
Saints is me. I'm going to have them take Bo Nix.
Oh, yeah, I forgot they didn't take a quarterback.
So I'm the Colts.
I'm a terrible drafter for the Raiders. Because the Raiders missed out on a quarterback. But that's okay.
Corner Max
Melton.
Melton.
I like Max Melton.
I'm the Giants. What did you give him first time? Remember.
Gave Brock Bowers.
Tight end, all right. We'll go Xavier Legette, the receiver. I'm Jacksonville. Gave him a corner first time. So we will go offensive guard Cooper Beebe. You're Cincinnati.
All right. Cincinnati.
Right now, every GM in the world is watching this.
Yeah. The draft's going to be dropped just like this.
We'll be quitting our jobs because we'll have new jobs with
Yep.
a different organization.
Yep. Patrick Paul, offensive tackle from Houston.
All right, so Philadelphia. I'm pretty sure I gave him a corner the first time, didn't I?
Safety.
Oh, we gave him safety?
Well, the
Cooper
DeJean.
DeJean. All right, Enos Rickshaw, the corner out of Missouri.
Yep.
So you got Pittsburgh.
What did I take for Mark Steelers? So I'm going to offense. I am going to have them taking Ricky Pearsall, wide receiver for Florida.
So the Rams. That's you.
Oh, yep, the Rams are me. The Rams take. It's confusing when. So if they have their edge rusher taken care of. I'm going to give them corner Camry Lester.
All right. So Philadelphia. It's a corner safety. We'll go Isaac, the Penn State edge
Okay.
rusher. So you're Cleveland, their first pick.
They're going to take, he slid this far, Ruka Rororo to Cleveland.
Let's see, I got Miami. I gave him last time. I gave him the corner, so definitely. We're gonna go Leonard Taylor here, defensive tackle for Miami.
Trying to replace
Yep.
the big man.
All right, I'm Dallas, so we're gonna go running back Jonathan Brooks. Don't be shocked if a running back, if that's a running back goes the first round, it's going to Dallas.
I don't see a running back going in first.
I'm just saying, if there's gonna be one team
Yes.
that's gonna do it, it's gonna be.
It's going to be Dallas.
All right, I'm Tampa. So we will go. We'll go Cooper. Edgerrin Cooper, the linebacker.
Linebacker.
So you're Green Bay.
They are also going to go linebacker. But they are going to go Peyton Willis.
All right, I got Houston. I give him the first time. I gave him guard. All right, so Chris Jenkins to Houston. I have Buffalo. The safety out of Miami, Kitchens.
Okay.
You have
The
Detroit.
Lions are up.
Your Detroit Lions.
Not my Detroit Lions. Maybe everybody watching. It's Detroit Lions. So I got them taking corner in the first round. I actually want to take a wide receiver here. looking for a specific receiver. He might be gone. I'm going to take Jalen Polk. Just because I don't have really confidence that Williams is going to
You're Baltimore.
Baltimore took a wide receiver in the first round, so I'm going to have them taking an offensive lineman here. I'm going to have them taking Kieran Amagaji, offensive tackle from Yale. Just because I felt like saying Amagaji.
Oh, there it is. All right, so you're next up. You're up again. I think you're out.
49ers. They're going to take cornerback Renando Green.
And you're up again to end the second.
You fell this far. I'm going to take Chris Braswell, edge rusher from Alabama.
All right. Call it good there?
Yeah, let's call it good there.
So that's our draft preview. It would have been more fun. I did invite more people. Unfortunately, couldn't get.
It's always more fun with more people.
Because if we would have had more, I really was hoping for at least 4 people total. Because then we would have had, like when we did this, everyone would have had 8 teams as opposed to doing 16. But not only that, having more opinions obviously would have been interesting.
So my thought is on this draft class, and we touched on it. Running back, I feel, is very weak. I think there's 2 good ones with Trey Benson and Jonathan Brooks, both coming off knee injuries. So it's kind of But I think from 3 to 12, each one of those running backs have, like, either they're very shifty in a pass-catching running back, but can't do the first and second down work, so they're not a true 3-down back, or they're first and second down work, not a good receiving back. There's pieces of their game missing for all.
In today's world, though,
it's all committee anyway.
Yeah, there's not much workhorse.
No, there's no more workhorse. Very few.
So, I guess with that being said, we'll sign off your 2024 ABL League champion.
And the more important one, the 2023 AFL champion.
Well, I don't know if it's more important, really. I mean,
well, my name's on both of them. My name's on this one twice and that one once. So
did you know? So Jimmy saw this last week, and he actually he's like, bro, why didn't you make that one white?
this one?
Yeah, he actually likes the white. He thought the white looked better.
I like the black better.
So, but these are the prizes everyone wants to get.
Yep.
So you'll see these again at the. I'm sure you'll see these at the Keeper League, Keeper presentation in June 1st. That's next time we'll do one.
I'm telling you, every time I come to Eric's for stream, you're gonna see this thing.
And this will definitely be shown, of course, at the draft. So, which all in all, by the way, if that's when the 4 basketball keepers are due, is going to be August 16th, and then in the red carpet, they'll get announced. Everyone's 4 keepers. So drafting is open for that as well, trading is open for the ABL as well for anyone if you guys are watching. All right. Well, that being said, everyone.